World War II saw the introduction of many new technologies, such as tanks, mustard gas, and field radios. Along with it, an entirely new form of war, aerial warfare, emerged in the form of reconnaissance, bombing runs, and dogfights. By 1918, Germany was losing it, and in an attempt to bring air superiority back to the Germans, Dutch engineer Anthony Fokker designed the speedy and maneuverable Fokker D-8. But just as soon as these planes rolled off the lines, the Fokker D-8 was grounded. The plane was simply unusable in combat. When pulling out of dives, the wings of the plane would often violently snap off, leading to the loss of some of Germany's best pilots. In response, German engineers performed testing to locate the issue. They suspended the plane upside down and added masses 6 times the weight of the aircraft to replicate the aerodynamic loading in hopes that they would isolate the problem. But, surprisingly, the wings would show no sign of weakness. Nonetheless, the engineers decided to make the aft spar of the aircraft, that is, the main structure of the wing, thicker and stronger. However, this only made the problem worse, and planes continued to fall out of the sky at an alarming rate. But wait, wouldn't this imply that adding more material, making the aft spar stiffer and stronger, had made the wing weaker? The answer is, in a sense, yes. It's quite counterintuitive, and the issue of the Fokker D-8 arises in the location of its wing's shear center. Airplane wings undergo aerodynamic forces, such as lift and drag, throughout the entirety of flight. Wings, therefore, will both bend downwards or upwards, as well as twist, by turning around a point on the wing, known as the shear center. If a force is applied directly on the shear center, the wing will experience no twist, and it will only bend. But if it is applied off shear center, then the wing will experience torsion as well as bending. Taking a look of the side profile of the Fokker D-8, the blue boxes inside the wing denote the forward and aft spars. The spars are beams that give the wing structural rigidity and strength. The shear center location of the Fokker D-8's wing was pretty much right in the middle between these two spars. I should note one other point on this wing, the center of pressure. The center of pressure is the point through which all aerodynamic forces, such as lift and drag, act. For level flight, it is typically about a quarter of the distance from the airfoil's tip, but as the angle of attack increases, that is, as the pitch of the aircraft increases, the center of pressure begins to creep more forward. So, when German pilots tried to recover out of a dive, the angle of attack would suddenly be very high, causing the center of pressure to move forward, away from the shear center. And, as I've stated, if the force is applied to a wing off shear center, the wing will twist with respect to the body of the aircraft. This twisting causes the angle of attack to increase, which further moves the center of pressure forward, which in turn increases the amount of twist. The twist will continue to increase and increase in this way, this violent feedback loop, until the wings eventually twist off. This phenomenon is known as divergence, and the Fokker D-8 was one of the first examples of it occurring in aviation history. The distance between the shear center of a wing and the center of pressure is known as the elastic margin, and it represents the lever arm that the aerodynamic loads have on the wing. In the case of the Fokker D-8, the elastic margin was very high, especially when it performed advanced maneuvers. And so, when German designers continued to increase the strength and thickness of the aft spar, they were in fact increasing the static margin and making the problem worse. This significant historical example shows the importance of understanding a wing's torsional and bending behavior as it relates to the field of aerospace structures.